Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to day 3 of how to create a thriving nonprofit. I am so excited about this workshop this week, and I am happy that everyone is gaining so much knowledge and information from this 4-day workshop. So I'm happy to see that people are changing their perspectives on nonprofits. And I am happy to see that people are analyzing the steps that we have covered so far. So let's get right on into it because I know, happy Wednesday. I know that you all may be on your lunch break and don't have much time, so I want to get right to it. So let's go to the first slide. So I know most of you all may know me by now, but I am Kendra Robinson. I am the CEO of KSR Business Support, and we work with businesses all over, but I specialize in nonprofit development. So those who have not attended day 1 and 2, let me reintroduce myself. I am a nonprofit executive of my own nonprofit, the Community Outreach Coalition. I am also the author of The Healthy Boss, and I am pursuing my doctorate degree in nonprofit management at Liberty University. I am an adjunct professor at North Central University, where I teach nonprofit management, and I manage federal grants for a local school district. And most important of all, the most exciting is I am a nonprofit consultant. And as you can see in the picture, I enjoy what I do. I look at everything that I do as service. So I really, really enjoy what I do, and I'm excited to be able to help you all. So, as covered in this workshop, you will learn the 5-step framework to creating a thriving nonprofit. And as you've learned in day 1, you've learned the 3 myths that most nonprofits, and especially their leaders, believe. And we were able to debunk those. We will be able to change your perspective on nonprofits. So now we're working on developing these 5 steps that you need to become a thriving nonprofit. So really quick, I'm going to recap on step 1. Step 1 was to recruit the right board. So, as your homework for yesterday, your homework was to analyze and think about what your board looks like and what changes you can make to your board, because you need to make sure that your board of directors are serving as advisors for whatever area of expertise you may need, that they're also supporting financially and offering the give or get policy for your organization. So they are supposed to be either giving a certain amount of money, or they should be finding it and going to get that money for you, but they should support you financially. So you want to make sure you're analyzing your board and making sure that these policies are in place. You want to make sure that your board are ambassadors and that they're going out spreading the good word about your organization, finding people to donate, finding people to volunteer and support. So you should be analyzing those things. So that was your homework for yesterday, to make sure that you evaluate your board and make sure that your board was doing these things. Your other homework was to work on step 2, making sure you have multiple streams of income generating for your nonprofit. So your homework was to make sure that you're not depending on grants, you're not depending on community donations, and that you're not depending on fundraisers to maintain your nonprofit, but that you are having so many consistent revenue avenues that you do not have to worry about where your consistent revenue is coming from. You have earned income, you have sponsorships, you have in-kind donations, you have reoccurring revenue coming from multiple places, and that is what we're looking for. So that was your homework, was to go over those things as regards to your organization and make sure you have multiple streams of income. So if you did not see those things yesterday, make sure you go back and check out the video for day 2 so that you can get step 1 and step 2 in detail. So I hope you did your homework. And if you have any questions about your homework, make sure you comment in the comment section today so that I can answer those questions for you. All right, so let's move on to today. So today we'll be going over steps 3 and 4 of my 5-step framework. Remember, you need all 5 steps to create a thriving nonprofit. So if you're here today and you did not see the first step and the second step, make sure you review the first step and the second step so that you'll have what you need today with step 3 and 4. And you have to come back tomorrow to get that 5th step of the 5-step framework. And if you come around tomorrow, I have some extra goodies for you. So make sure you are telling your friends and you're there. So step 3. You have to build a team. Remember when I talked about how chaotic things were when I ran my nonprofit and I was doing everything? I was the janitor, I was the van driver, the cook, the teacher, the HR person. I was recruiting and advocating. I was writing grants. I was connecting with people for partners. I was exhausted and I didn't know that there was a better way. So now I'm telling you, with these 5 steps, you'll have a thriving nonprofit. But you have to build a team. Make sure you're not trying to do everything on your own. I know a lot of times you're like, well, I can't afford hired help. I cannot figure out how I can do this. I don't have enough volunteers. People don't do it the way that I want them to do it. Truth be told, the reason they're not doing it the way you want them to do it is because you're probably not communicating in a way that they understand exactly what you need. And if they are not doing that, you have to create a mechanism to communicate your needs to the people who are working for you. Give them time to fail. So don't give people a deadline. If you know your grant is due tomorrow, you don't tell your help to turn in all the things that are needed the day before, because you won't have enough time to turn those things around. So you have to make sure that you as a leader are being strategic and that you are giving your team the correct communication and that you're giving them everything they need so that you all can be successful. Even if you have a big goal, give them smaller pieces, give them time. If it's not right, to bring it back to you and mold it into what you're looking for, and then move forward and add on to the big picture. But do not use all the excuses that I've heard about why people don't build a team. People don't build a team because they want to be in control, that they are control freaks, and they think that if it's not done their way, it'll never get done. Well, I'm here to tell you, all the successful nonprofits, all the successful businesses in America and all over the world have a team of people. They do not do it all themselves. Whether they outsource it, whether they have virtual assistants and contractors, they have interns, volunteers, whatever it is, they have a team of people, and you have to have a team of people too. So remember, you cannot do all the work yourself. You have to have a presence on social media. You have to tell people what your cause is and what it is that you're trying to do, what your mission is. You have to be able to share those things with the public, whether it's through podcasts, whether it's through commercials, interviews, getting on the news, sharing PSAs, sending out newsletters, or just posting videos and pictures on your social media page. You have to have some information on your organization through social media. So if you know that you're not good with graphics, you're not good with taking pictures, you're not going to be consistent with uploading information for your organization, then you need to get someone to help you, whether it's a high school volunteer, whether it's a college intern, whether it's a community volunteer, or if you have to contract those services out. Make sure that you are getting help. So make sure you have someone who is on the public relations committee or is managing your social media and is responsible for getting the word out about your organization. Then you're going to need a legal advisor, whether it's a board member, whether it's a community volunteer, whether it's somebody you have on retainer. Make sure you have someone who can give you legal advice. There's a lot of gray areas when it comes to nonprofits, what they can do, what they can't do. Are they interfering with the conflict of interest in any way? So it's best to find a way to get these people on your team. I'm not saying that you have to pull money from the sky. I'm saying you have to figure out a strategic way to develop a team. You don't have to go out and say, hey, I need a lawyer, so I need to pay you a monthly retainer. No, if there's someone who's connecting to your cause and they happen to be a lawyer and they could sit on your board and advise you, then let them do that. But make sure you can connect with somebody that can help you with public relations, a legal advisor, and accounting. People get in trouble all the time when it comes to accounting and not managing their finances, when they're not turning in the proper financial reports. They can't show their funders what they're doing with the money. They're not utilizing grant funds in the right way. So grant organizations, grantors, federal government, whoever gave them the grant takes the money back, putting them in a financial bind. So you need to make sure you have an accountant on your team. And I'm just giving you the basic people that you need on your team. You're going to need a lot more people on your team, but I'm just giving you the basic people that you need to figure out how to get on your team. You're going to need somebody to manage your program. If you are out writing grants, or if you're out connecting, making community partnerships or whatever, you are going to need someone to manage the program. They're going to have everything organized with who your partners are, who you're serving, gathering statistics, registering people, doing administrative things. Who is that person that's going to oversee the whole program of your organization? Whatever that looks like, you just can't do things and say you're a nonprofit. You have to have someone who's managing and organizing these aspects of your organization. And then you're going to need a development manager. And what's a development manager? I'm glad you asked. A development manager is someone who's not just looking for the latest fundraiser, who's not just looking for someone to drop $1 million out of the sky, but they are generating a plan for your organization to create consistent revenue. And it does not have to be a person that you have on staff. It will probably be best for that. But if you're not at a point where you can hire someone to be the development manager, then outsource it. Even hire a company. KSR Business Support actually does development planning, and we will manage your development strategy for you. And that consists of multiple things. It consists of fundraising, donations, corporate sponsorships, corporate giving, and earned income generated on some level. And all of this has to happen for your organization to develop. That's why you have to have a development manager. You have to have these basic people on your team. Of course, you're going to need more people to execute whatever your mission is, but I want you to analyze your organization, and I want you to see if you have these basic people in your reach. If not, it's time for you to analyze, how can I get this going for my organization? Who can I hire as an intern? Who can I contract these services to? Who can I have on my board as an advisor for one of these areas? You have to have a team of people. If you did not go to school and get a degree in accounting and legal services and know how to do graphics and public relations and communications and media, and if you're not well versed in development management for nonprofits, then don't try to do all these things yourself. Find someone with this expertise and build a team. That is going to be the most effective thing that you can do for your nonprofit. You're going to feel the weight lifted off of your shoulders, and you're going to be like, why didn't I think of this long before? So make sure you are building a team of people to support your organization. Let's move on to step 4. So in step 4, you will, step 4, you will have to build a network and partnerships. What does that mean? A lot of people say, hey, I'm an introvert. I don't like networking. I don't like talking to people. Or the biggest thing that I hear all the time is, I don't want to partner with people because they're going to steal my idea. Well, listen, people have not thought of things on their own for years. So as long as you're covered by your legal documentation, you cannot use that as a way to opt out of networking and partnerships. You have to network because you don't know who your next board member could be from networking. You don't know who your next donor will be from networking. If you are developing partnerships, you're taking the load off of yourself, still executing your mission, but you're giving some of that load to someone else because they may have an expertise in that. So for instance, if you are serving veterans and you have a program where you help and support them in some way, why aren't you partnering with Veterans Affairs? And you have a legal document saying that, hey, we're in partnership, and this is what our partnership looks like. People who are in need of A, B, and C come to us, and we, in return, do blah, blah, blah. And have it spelled out and have those documents. So when you're telling funders and you're writing grants, you can show, hey, we have a letter of support, or we have an MOU with these companies who we're in partnership with, who we're working together with. Because you may not be able to find all the veterans, but most of them go to Veterans Affairs. So why not take out some of that legwork of running around trying to find your target market and partner with someone who may already have your target market? Do not overwork just because you're afraid of working with other people. Make sure you're networking and you're engaging in the community and you're interacting with other people and you're asking questions about what the community needs. And you're not just assuming that the community needs something and you're just doing programs that have no impact because it's not needed. So don't be afraid to work with others. And that is the number one reason that I always see people say that they don't want to partner with people that are larger than them, or they don't want to network with people and tell them what they have going on. You have to realize that you are going to run your organization like any corporate organization or Fortune 500 company. And what do? They have documentations, they have policies and procedures in place for everything. They don't just say, oh, we just partner with everybody. No. Before they get into partnership, they probably have a meeting, they put paperwork and NDAs in place or whatever. And they have policies and procedures that they follow, and your organization should do the same thing. And that is how you're going to protect yourself. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because you can gain some programmatic help. If you are serving and feeding the community, you will be able to get food from organizations like the food bank if you network and partner. So that will cut some of your costs, because you're able to say, hey, I am partnering with them, and instead of me buying all these fruits and vegetables, the food bank is going to donate these fruits and vegetables. And what has that done? That saves some money in your organization's budget to use it somewhere else. Well, maybe you could save $10,000 in food, and you'll be able to hire help. So that's why you have to partner, because you may be able to save money. You may be able to expand and improve your program by working with others. Just make sure that you're putting the correct policies and procedures in place to make that happen. So this system that I used is a proven system. All right. I have helped so many organizations rethink their organization. They don't know how much this has impacted them over the time. They have been thinking like, wow, I've been focusing on this one area. I just been focusing on helping these people, but I have not sat down and really looked at how I was not operating my nonprofit or my business in the right way. So let's take a look at one of my clients, Corey Taylor. He's the founder of 2B1. And he used the 5-step framework to create a business model for his organization. And he was able to make sure that he has generated earned income for his services and create different platforms to improve his services. He executed new programming. He was able to organize his program using the 5 steps to become more effective. And that can be you. That can be you. If you are tired of just running around with your head cut off, looking like I don't know what is going on, which direction I'm going, I feel like I'm pulled from so many directions, make sure you're implementing this 5-step framework. Okay? So, before I go into what you can expect for day 4, I want to give you your homework. You should already know. Your homework is to think about steps 3 and 4 as it regards to your organization, and see what areas you're lacking for your own organization. How can you change these things that are happening in your organization? Who do you need to add to your team? Who do you need to partner with to impact or improve your program? So think about these things, write these things down so that you'll know how you can improve your organization. And by tomorrow, you'll have the answer for your organization to see what you need to do to create a thriving nonprofit. So, what can you expect from day 4? I need you to come back for day 4 because you will get the 5th step to creating a thriving nonprofit. You will be able to get tools and resources needed to support your organization with implementing all 5 of these practices within your organization. And you will have discounts on all the products that we have that can support you throughout whatever stage you're in within this framework. Because a lot of people may be at the beginning stage, they may not have started their nonprofit, they may be maintaining their nonprofit, or they may be in some other managerial changes of their nonprofit. So, whatever stage you're in, we're here to help. And you're going to get discounts on all of those things. And if you're here tomorrow, only for the people who are attending, you will be able to get the free Fund Your Vision Toolkit. Now, remember, this information is up for a limited time. After this workshop is over, the discounts go away, the information go away, and you're not going to be able to get these free toolkits. You're not going to be able to get these discounts. You're not going to be able to get this information. So make sure you're attending on tomorrow. Make sure that you recap on all the videos, because after this workshop is over, all the videos go away. So if you have not invited your friend who needs this information, make sure they are here. If you have any questions about this framework, make sure you're asking them. Write your questions down. Make sure you're here tomorrow, because if not, all of this information goes away. So make sure you're acting now on this information, because if you want to have a thriving nonprofit, this is exactly what you need to do. All right. So I want to thank you for attending day 3. I'm excited about day 4 because I know that you can benefit from this information. Thank you again for attending. If you have any questions on step 1 through 4, make sure you're commenting and make sure you're sharing this information. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and you have a happy Wednesday. Take care.